my mail late last night, a letter from a gal who found the time to write to a lonely boy somewheres in the night. Sent me a railroad ticket to take her to her loving arms, and the big steel rail gonna carry me home to the one I love. Well, I've been uptight most every night, walking around the streets of this old town. Not a friend around to tell my troubles to. Good old car done broke down 'cause I drove it to the ground, and the big steel rail gonna carry me home to the one I love. Well, look over yonder, across that plain, a big drive wheel is coming around the town. I'm gonna get on board and I'll be homeward bound. I ain't had a home-cooked meal, Lord, I need one now, and the big steel rail gonna carry me home to the one I love. Well, here I stand, hat in my hand, walking down the big highway. Can you give a ride to a lonely boy who missed the train last night? I went in town for one last round, I gambled my ticket away, and the big steel rail gonna carry me home to the one I love.
Traveling down that old town road, listening to my steel wheels whine. Goodbye to Buckeye and White Sycamore, I'm leaving you behind. I've been a poor man all my life, laying down tracks in the hall. Got a back like an ironwood bent by the wind, blood veins blue as the coal, blood veins blue as the coal. Somebody said that's a strange tattoo you have on the side of your head. I said that's the mark of the number 9 cold, little more and I'd be dead. Still I love the rumble and I love the dark, I love the cool of the sleigh. But this going down the road, looking for a job, this traveling and running I hate. This traveling and running I hate. Someday when I die and to heaven I go, to heaven, the land of my dreams, I won't have to worry about losing my job to bad times and big machines. Still I've got no job and I've got no pay, just got a worried soul, and this blue tattoo on the side of my head, left by the number 9 cold, left by the number 9 cold, left by the number 9 cold. Hear the bells ring 6 o'clock in I could stay here in your arms and hold you tight like I did last night, and never forget about your charms. Hear the bells ring 8 o'clock. In one more hour I must go. But if you kiss me again like that, I'll say the hell with that Texas rodeo. Ring 9 o'clock. I guess I might have missed my train. So here we'll stay and here we'll lay and listen to that clock on the mantle ring. Blows a horn. He comes from way down south, oh yeah. And you ain't seen such blowing since you've been born. Like when a trombone's to his mouth, he wails and moans, grunts and groans. He can moan just like a cow. And you ain't seen such blowing since you've been born, 'cause he won't show 'em how. Johnny, won't you play that thing? I mean the slide trombone. Make it talk, make it sing. I mean the slide trombone. If Gabriel knew how you could blow, he'd let you lead his band, I know. Oh, Charlie, won't you play that thing? I mean the slide trombone. Charlie, play that thing. I mean the slide trombone. Make it talk, make it sing. I mean the slide trombone. Now you ain't seen such moving hips, like when the trombones do his lips. Charlie Green, play that thing. I mean the slide trombone, oh yeah. I mean the slide trombone.
You may talk of gin and beer when you're stationed way out here, and you're sent to penny fights in Aldershot. But when it comes to slaughter, you'll do your work for water, and you'll lick the bloomin' boots of him that's got it. Now in Inja's sunny clime, where I used to spend my time, serving Her Majesty the Queen. Of all the black-faced crew, the finest man I knew was Regimental Beastie Gunga Din. The uniform he wore was nothing much before, and rather less than half of that behind. But a piece of twisty rag and a goatskin water bag was all the field equipment he could find. When a sweating troop train lay in a siding through the day, where the heat would make your bloomin' eyebrows crawl, we shouted Harry by till our throats were bricky dry, then whopped him 'cause he couldn't serve us all. He would often carry one till the longest day was done, never seemed to know the use of fear. If we charged or broke or cut, you could bet your bloomin' nut he'd be waiting 50 paces right flying clear. With his mussick on his back, he would skip to our attack and watch us till the bugles made retire. And for all his dirty hide, he was white, clear white inside, when he went to tend the wounded under fire. It was Dean, 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 with bullets kicking dust spots on the green. And when the cartridges ran out, you could hear the front files shout, "Send ammunition mules and Gunga Din." I shan't forget the night when I fell behind the fight, with a bullet where my belt plate should have been. I was choking mad with thirst, and the man that spied me first was a good old grinning grunting Gunga Din. He lifted up my head and he plugged me where I bled, and he gave me half a pint of water green. It was crawling and it stunk, but of all the drinks I've drunk, I'm most grateful to the one from Gunga Din. He carried me away to where a dooley lay, and a bullet came and drilled the beggar clean. He carried me inside, and just before he died, "I hope you like your drink," said Gunga Din. So I'll meet him later on in the place where he has gone, where it's always double drill and no canteen. He'll be squatting on the coals, giving drinks to poor damned souls, and I'll catch a swig in hell from Gunga Din. It was Dean, 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 you Lazarusian leather Gunga Din. Though I belted you and flayed you, by the living God that made you, you're a better man than I am, Gunga Din.
They call her hot-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah, the meanest gal in town. Leather is tough, but Hannah's heart is tougher. She's the kind of gal that likes to see men suffer. To love 'em, thrill 'em, to torture and kill 'em is her delight, they say. Why, I saw her at the seashore with a great big pan. There was Hannah pouring water on a drowning man. That's hot-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah, GA. They call her hot-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah, the meanest gal in town. Talk about your cold, refrigerated mamas,
paper. When the sun's out, they stay dry. And when it rains, well, they get wet. But I don't cry, because the sun don't know no difference between a rich man and a bum. And the only life it knows is moving round the sky. See him grinning down at you people. I guess you don't know what is left around. But if you spend enough time on the road, maybe you'll find out. Because the sun moves around in an endless circle, never knowing the reason why. Still there's something in the path that it traces round the sky. It's like a circle with no ending, but it's a race we all must run. And it's the same, be you a rich man or a bum.
There's a blizzard coming on, and I sure wish I was home. For my pony is so weak, he cannot stand. Listen to that northern sigh. If we don't get home, we'll die. And it's only 7 miles to Mary Ann. And it's only 7 miles to Mary Ann. You can bet we're on her mind, for it's nearly supper time. And I'll bet there's hot biscuits in the pan. Lord, my hands feel like they're froze, and there's a numbness in my toes. But it's only 3 more miles to Mary Ann. It's only 3 more miles to Mary Ann. Get up, Dan, you ornery cuss, or you'll be the death of us. I'm so weary, but I'll help you if I can. All right, Dan, maybe it's best if we stop a while and rest, for we're just 100 yards from Mary Ann. We're just 100 yards from Mary Ann. Late that night, the storm was gone, and they found them there at dawn. He'd have made it, but he just couldn't leave old Dan. Yes, they found him there on the plains. His hands were frozen right to the reins, and he was just 100 yards from Mary Ann. He was just 100 yards from Mary Ann.
not an angel, I'm a man. You're not a queen, you're a woman. Take my hand. We'll make a space in the lives that we've planned. And here I'll stay until it's time for me to go. We were different worlds apart, not the same. We laughed and played at the start, like in a game. You could have stayed outside my heart, but in you came. And here I'll stay until it's time for me to go. Don't ask why of me, don't ask how, don't ask forever. Love me now. This love of mine has no beginning or no end. I was an oak, now I'm a willow, I can bend. And though I know I'll never see your face again, still I'll stay till it's time for me to go. Don't ask why of me, don't ask how, don't ask forever. Love me now. This love of mine has no beginning or no end. I was an oak, now I'm a willow, I can bend. And though I know I'll never see your face again, still I'll stay until it's time for me to go.
Fat woman, get your fat leg off of me. You big fat woman, get your fat leg off of me. You feel so good, scare the hell out of me. You got a great big leg, got a whopping thigh. Great big leg, got a whopping thigh now. Ooh. You got a great big leg, got a whopping thigh, and every time you move, make my temperature rise. That fine-looking woman got a great big leg. Fine-looking woman got a great big leg. Yeah, big fat woman with a great big leg. Big fat woman got a great big leg, and every time she moves, move like a soft-boiled egg. Fat woman, get your fat leg off of me. Now you obese woman, get your fat leg off of me. You feel so good, scare the hell out of me.
by the window and let down her hair. Asked if I knew that I shouldn't be there. Her lips said goodbye, but her body said stay. I knew I should go, but I stayed anyway. And they called her child of midnight, and they say she loved whomever she'd find. But when morning came, I loved her, and she stayed there in my mind. She stood by the window and let down her hair. Asked if I thought that it was right that she give her body and I give my mind. I looked for an answer all the night, and they called her child of midnight, and they say she loved whomever she'd find. But when morning came, I loved her, and she stayed there in my mind. She stood by the window and tied up her hair, acted as if I had never been there. Her lips said goodbye and her body said stay. I knew I should go, but I stayed anyway. And they called her child of midnight, and they say she loved whomever she'd find. But when morning came, I loved her, and she stayed there in my mind. You'll know you're a man when you meet Mary Ann. If you only hear the sound of her breathing, she'll talk to you in words, in ways you've never heard. And you'll forget about the time when you should be leaving, and you'll know you're a man when you hold Mary Ann. In her eyes you'll see the past that you've been living. In her secret ways you'll find she'll reach into your mind, and you'll know that all your crimes have been forgiven. Mary Ann can turn the hands of time so far back that you'll think the time was just an empty word. Mary Ann can break the ties that bind, and love you thought you'd never find is there when she's beside you. And you'll know you're a man when you love Mary Ann, and all the love you have is all you're given. She'll lay you down and cool you with her fan. You'll know there's a reason for living. You'll know you're a man. 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 You'll know you're a man.
The railroads and the riverboats that bred the mighty men that we read about and we dream about, the men who built this land, and the farmers and the lumbermen and the men who work the mills, and the poor hard-working miners who died inside the hills. While the rivers that flow are the blood of our land, and the trucks they keep rumbling on the great concrete bed, and the railroads keep pushing to be all they once were, and nature is calling, no one's listening to her. And the immigrants by the boatload in a dozen different tongues sang of freedom in the new land, climbed the ladder rung by rung, some to Boston, some to Pittsburgh, Philadelphia and St. Paul, and the old ways led to new days. They were welcomed one and all, while the rivers that flow are the blood of our land, and the trucks they keep rumbling on the great concrete bed, and the railroads keep pushing to be all they once were, and nature is calling, no one's listening to her. With the railroads and the riverboats and the bread lines far behind, and the days we sang together, long gone but still in mind, when the men who came before us, men who brought us to today, and the story still unravels from the dreams of yesterday, while the rivers that flow are the blood of our land, and the trucks they keep rumbling on the great concrete bed, and the railroads keep pushing to be all they once were, and nature is calling, no one's listening to her, and nature is calling, no one's listening to her.
Mr. Baker used to be a big executive. Now he's selling apples on the corner. Paper says that things are getting better, maybe pretty soon hard times be over. Used to be a time when there was a dividing line between the pigs and mud and those in clover. Paper says that things are getting better, maybe pretty soon hard times be over. I just got a letter from a fella that I used to know, cleaned up in the market but the crash hit him hard. Now he's selling papers on a small town avenue, had to sell his house and wife and even his dog.
Picket lines and bread lines, and buddy, do you have a dime?
Even corner drunks are getting sober. Paper says that things are getting better, maybe pretty soon hard times be over.
I just got a letter from a fella that I used to know, cleaned up in the market but the crash hit him hard. Now he's selling papers on a small town avenue, had to sell his house and wife and even his dog.
Picket lines and bread lines, and buddy, do you have a dime?
Even corner drunks are getting sober. Paper says that things are getting better, maybe pretty soon hard times be over.
Paper says that things are getting better, maybe pretty soon
hard times be over.
was a boy, in the days of the train, I'd sit by the tracks on a long summer day, and I'd wave to the brakeman, and he'd wave back at me, while the thunderclouds rolled out of East Tennessee. But the dreams of a boy disappear when you're grown, and though I may dream, the railroads are gone. The ties, they are rotted, and the track shot to hell, along with my dreams and the old railroad bell. In my dreams I'd ride the rails to California, working diners and farms along the way. Or I'd hop a ride to hide across the border, with a black-eyed girl beside me all the way. But now the mountains are silent, and the railroads are gone, and the coal towns no longer hear the miners at dawn. But the train whistle shrills out of memories to me, while the thunderclouds roll out of East Tennessee. In my dreams I'd ride the rails to California, working diners and farms along the way. Or I'd hop a ride to hide across the border, with a black-eyed girl beside me all the way. But now the mountains are silent, and the railroads are gone, and the coal towns no longer hear the miners at dawn. But the train whistle shrills out of memories to me, while the thunderclouds roll out of East Tennessee. Smoke another cigarette, have another drink or two, sit by the telephone till morning. She never tells me where she's going, but I think it's mighty plain. Maybe tomorrow she'll be back home again. She wasn't like this when I met her, whatever made her change? Now she never even says I love you. She just comes a-rolling in, never wanting to explain. Maybe tomorrow she'll be back home again. I wish that I could meet him just to tell him who I am. I would like to find out what he has that I don't have. He never says a thing about him, but it's plain as day. She's going somewhere every evening. I can't take it too much longer, I think I'm going insane. Maybe tomorrow she'll be back home again. I wish that I could meet him just to tell him who I am. I would like to find out what he has that I don't have. She never says a thing about him, but it's plain as day. He's going somewhere every evening. I can't take it too much longer, I think I'll go insane. Maybe tomorrow she'll be back home again.
Washed in rain. The hard times don't seem quite as bad looking through the years, and the good times all seem twice as good though you see them through your tears. What feast have you recaptured? Your eyes are filled with time. Memories are coming back, relocate your mind. 7 hills of Rome return from shadows lost in time. Taste each memory carefully like you taste your morning wine. You talk about your brothers who lived in other times, the one who worked the railroads and the one who worked the mines, ones who built the bridges and the one who fixed the shoes, and the ones whose memories mean the most are those you never lose, and the ones whose memories mean